that these parts are uneven for some reason.
Oh my god.
I actually
I'll have
know
to get
the
Robin to
reason.
do it.
It's like impulsively cutting your hair.
Yeah, the last time I had to look at myself on camera. It's genuinely the reason. But yeah, welcome to the Two Sides of the Screen podcast. That actually was a natural conversation that time. I feel like that's how I want to roll into these, rather than stumbling over ourselves like we did last time. But yeah, my name is Tori. I'm here with Ivan. This is a show where we watch a different movie every week. We have a list of 100 pulled from only the most prestigious film bro places on the internet. IMDb, Letterboxd, BFI, etc. And we talk about them. I actually said our names as well. I'm getting a little bit better at this.
You're
just
giving,
a tiny bit.
It's giving intro.
We are film students that want to expand our knowledge of all of the classic film bro movies, and so here we are talking about Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo this week, and also bits and pieces of Rear Window, just because we happened to also see that. So.
Yeah, so we might actually mostly talk about Rear Window in the end.
I don't know, I feel like I have a lot to say about Vertigo, because we actually have not said much before this at all. We've been pretty good at keeping our thoughts.
We had a lot to do, so...
Yeah, we've been very busy.
Hitchcock style
stuff. Again, very useful that I watched it literally this morning.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So, Ivan, can you please tell me what Vertigo is about?
Yeah, so this week we watched Vertigo and Rear Window that we had to watch before in uni, so we just decided to finish that one too because it's both Hitchcock. Basically, I don't think I can tell you what Vertigo is about because I was actually kind of very confused by watching it. But basically, it's about this man and he... What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember. It's just a normal white guy name. Scotty or John or
it's
some
Scott or Scotty.
No, it's John, but some people call him Scotty.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm confused with the whole thing.
At one point he gets asked, what's your name? And he's like, John. And then she's like, do you go by John or Jack? And it's the friends call me John, acquaintances call me Scotty or whatever.
Anyway, it's about Scotty / John / whatever his name is. And he was following his co-worker's, his boss's wife as a job. And then she basically low-key killed herself. She no, it's actually kind of can you actually give a synopsis on this one? Because I don't think I'm gonna actually be able to do this one.
It's the first time you've actually failed the
assignment I'm not
on understanding what Vertigo is about. I'm sure I'll do a much better job. No. So yeah, Guy John, he is a detective. He suffers from vertigo. He's scared of heights and he gets really dizzy, and this only really comes up about 2 more times in the whole movie. It's actually not really about vertigo at all. And so he is dragged back in for one last case by not his boss, but by a friend that he knew back in college.
I was convinced that man
who
was his
runs
boss.
an oil company.
I'm actually going insane.
Yeah, he runs an oil company, and
Sure.
this guy, he married into the oil company, and his wife is going a bit insane. The husband's theory is that she is possessed, and so he has to follow her, learn more about her. They fall in love, which is odd, but we'll get to that. And then plot twists at the end, which I suppose we will also get to.
Yeah, sure.
I guess it's a mystery thriller, sort of. It's hard to define genre.
I think it's a thriller. For me, to give off that 50s Hitchcock.
50s thriller.
Yeah.
Which isn't very thrilling, really.
Yeah.
I feel like you just call it thriller, but then thriller nowadays is like full-on action, nasty butts.
Yeah, but for the time, I think it would like definitely fit that genre of like 50s thrillers.
Yeah. So what did you... I just caught myself saying yeah. I'm 1 year away from repeating last week where I said yeah about 50 times. I absolutely hated it. I'm going to keep track of it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, so like I was kind of... The plot made sense until it didn't. And actually, for me, didn't make sense at all. I get the point. The point... Well, I don't know what the point is, actually. I don't know, I kind of get it that the whole plot is supposed to be, like, all over... Not all over the place, but, like, with a lot of, like, twists and turns, because, like, Vertigo, like, there's, like, so much symbolism of, like, dizziness and spinning and, like, losing track of reality and whatever, like, not knowing what's the truth and what are the lies. But I just... It was too much for me.
It goes everywhere for some reason. It doesn't have like a 3-act structure, I don't think. It just kind of keeps happening. I know you haven't seen Casino Royale, but the pacing has a similar vibe to that movie. But Casino Royale does it a lot better. Where like the main bad guy is killed about like 70% of the way through the movie. And then the movie just keeps on going for another like half an hour. And you're like, okay, hold on, what? I thought... Isn't the movie supposed to be wrapping up? I thought that was our third act. This film has a similar pacing issue, which is weird to say about one of the most influential directors of all time. Of course, this was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And from seeing Rear Window especially, it's easy to see why he is so influential, how he did just create the bog standard cinematic formula that got used for the next...
But for me, like, comparing Vertigo and Rear Window, like, immediately off the start, it's like Rear Window had, like, a clear plot for me. Like, I knew what the story was about from the start, and there were, like, twists and turns, but, like, you follow the same plot. Like, you want to know that the main character's neighbor murdered his wife or not.
Yeah, I think the simplicity of Rear Window helps you appreciate the filmmaking, really.
Yeah, and you do go all over the place. You look at other neighbors, you look at what they're doing.
And you're like, what's the point of this? And like, no, it's just to build the world.
Yeah, exactly, but it works. In Vertigo, I just kept... I don't know if it's me, but I literally kept losing the plot. Like, because it starts with him literally having, like, vertigo / full-on PTSD from, like, that man dying and falling off and him blaming himself and stuff like that, which is like, okay, amazing. And then he falls in love with his friend's wife. And I'm like, how did we get here?
I thought that was so grim. The middle of the movie kind of... Yeah, like, you warned me... I can't have that happen. It's going to happen once every single time. But, you warned me that this one was a lot more of the time, a lot more 50s.
Yeah.
And that was totally where I started to feel it. Where, where the Hitchcock blonde in this one is definitely just used as an object to drive the male protagonist forward. And really has no character development whatsoever. Just complete object plot device. And I didn't really like that. And the men in her life have all of the agency. And she's the one who ends up getting punished at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
It's low-key misogynistic. Like,
and I mean,
in
like,
fact, mid-key misogynistic, which is just off the time. But...
I kind of get it to a certain point. Like, yeah, she was, like, kind of sort of manipulated by all of the men in her life, and she had to, like, adapt and, you know, use her femininity, her looks and stuff like that to, like, kind of work through that. But the thing is, it wasn't really shown to us that much. Like, we don't get... I can't truly appreciate her character because we didn't get enough of her, in my opinion.
She's not really a femme fatale either. Because, like... she's kind of pathetic and
She-
like all over Scotty for like no reason, and that's ultimately her downfall, is that she is unfortunately a stereotypical woman. Like all of her negative traits are just, and everything that gets her into trouble and everything that she gets punished for are like the woman stereotypes.
Yeah. And also, like, the thing about her, it's like, I do kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, I don't know enough about her to know if I'm supposed to feel bad or not, if that makes sense.
Like, is she the villain, technically?
Yeah, because, like, she is kind of doing bad stuff, like manipulating people, lying, whatever. But then again, I'm never sure what her actual motives are. Like, is she being manipulated, or is this something that she truly wants to do?
Yeah, I think now is a good time to actually properly recap the plot, like the beat for beat plot, and also catch you up, because whereabouts do you lose
Like,
the narrative?
immediately. No, because I'm still confused about her relationship with his friend that I was convinced was his boss. So that's probably where I immediately lost the plot.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. No, it's just a guy who we knew from college. He gets a like random phone call and then says to his girlfriend, ex-fiance, not girlfriend,
Oh,
about it.
I actually love her.
I think she's a great character.
She
but again,
is
she is
an icon.
I think she's really fun, but again, she is completely being used by Scotty for anything. Like, she gets nothing done. There's no reason why she should be so, like, all over Scotty. No reason whatsoever. He is such a shit guy. The main character is such a shit guy.
Yeah, and
Consistently.
also what I hate about him is that he's, for, let's say, like, the first half of the movie at least, you're supposed to kind of feel for him, you're supposed to be on his side. I just wasn't, like, from the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue on with the plot, so...
Yeah, so he gets this offer, and business guy thinks that his wife is possessed. Scotty starts to follow her around and finds out, oh shit, maybe she is possessed. She keeps going to these graves and these weird places and has no memory of it, and it's all linked back to this one person who is apparently her grandmother. And the grandmother has a tragic folklore story of her husband took her kid, put it somewhere else, and then she lost her mind, started murdering people, and then killed herself at the age of 26, which is also the age of the wife.
Yeah.
So it all lines up, it's all history repeating itself, and the ghost of the wife's grandma, her name's Madeline, I can call her Madeline. The ghost of Madeline's grandma is possessing Madeline. No, I can't say her name apparently. Is possessing Madeline and will eventually make her kill herself. Can you say that on the internet? I don't care. I'm not gonna say like.
Unalive.
Yeah, unalives. That's the friendly
Takes
one.
her own life.
I don't have to worry about demonetization when we're not monetized or
Exactly.
anywhere close to being that.
Exactly. No, so, like, I got that part, and it was also, like, for me, that's also one of the things that confused me. I wasn't, like, at that part, I wasn't sure, like, if this is going to get into, like, supernatural territory, or are we staying, like, in our world, and this is just, like, a weird coincidence.
Well, that's kind of like the best bit for me. That's the bit that I liked the most. Was it teetering on the edge of, is everybody going insane? Is there a logical and rational explanation for all of this, or is this actually spooky shit? Because I kind of love that. I think that's a great mystery to have running throughout your story, and then it's a good reveal at the end, and you can always have your own opinion.
I also
And
like that,
It's pretty much a coin flip as to whether or not you're correct.
No, definitely. I also love that usually, but in this case, I feel like it wasn't done in a way that I would completely love it, if that makes sense, because I feel like that wasn't the main focus of the plot. If you know what I mean, I think the main focus was just like the characters being like actually like insane.
The main focus was the characters then being in love for a bit.
Yeah.
And that really caught me off guard, and
Oh,
it just turns into a different movie, and where they're just in love all of a sudden. The first time they kiss feels so out of place. It feels so out of nowhere because Scotty is here for a job. He has not talked to this woman, and all of the talking that he has done to this woman has been lying so far.
Yeah, and they literally like don't know each other. Supposedly at the start, like they don't know each other. He's literally like stalking her. He's getting paid to do so, but like still, like he's following her around. But somehow he's in love with her from just watching her like walk around the graveyard. Like
I know, and it's just the least romantic shit in the world because it's romantic in a very 50s way. This is just where it is of the time.
Yeah.
In where romance was, oh, I'm a hopeless woman. I sure hope a man will come and rescue me from my boredom and provide for me all day at some point in the future.
No, the part that I loved about...
And that was romance for our grandparents.
Yeah.
But...
No, the part that I loved... No, I can't say loved. The part that I kind of liked about their relationship was the beginning where he saved her. And she, instead of being completely creeped out, was like...
I really liked that scene, yeah.
Because I think it did set up something like mysterious about it. Because like you start to think like, why is she like so nonchalant about a stranger saving her and literally like being in her home and stuff like that.
And then when she leaves again, it's like a bit of a mystery, and it's like... I kind of like that scene as well because it seemed like both of the characters were being respectful about it. Like,
exactly.
It's something that I appreciated about Rear Window a bit more, is that the main character, who's played by the same guy that I can't remember the name of now.
Same.
But, like, the main character in Rear Window, he was doing somewhat creepy things. He had opportunities to be a guy from the 50s and be creepy.
Mm.
And that doesn't happen in Rear Window, and it's it's pretty nice to see a representation of a guy that isn't like constantly taking advantage of the women around him. The women in his life seem to have some sort of autonomy. There's more than one woman.
First of all.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's more than one woman in Vertigo as well, but it's like such more of a weird dynamic.
Yeah. And also in the Rear Window, like you also have like the Hitchcock blonde, because I can't remember her name, but like the main character's love interest.
Yeah.
She was like the classic like beauty standard blue-eyed blonde woman, but like she had so much depth to her character. I really liked.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised because like when we were talking like in class about Hitchcock and people saying like, oh my god, the misogyny and the Hitchcock blonde, I was like, oh okay, amazing.
And Rear Window kind of catches you off guard because they have arguments, and there's like a bit where maybe the main guy is like, oh, why don't you shut up for a bit or whatever, and that's enough like from the time that I can deal with.
Yeah.
But then in Vertigo,
no,
it's
but
like
also,
pulling her around,
literally.
like literally like shut up, listen to me, do what I say right now, like come on. And that sort of stuff just kind of makes me uncomfortable, especially when it's being presented as just a normal man that we're supposed to be like.
And also in the Rear Window, when those scenes would happen, she would respond back. She wouldn't just be like,
clap back, yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't like be just like, okay, yeah, a man told me to shut up. I'm not like, that's it. No, she would like argue with him back, and she did have a whole backstory, which I really appreciate. Like, she is a successful businesswoman. She does like fashion. She's like very like high fashion from model maybe, or designer, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like she has a whole business. She's rich, she has connections, she is busy, and she also has that like confidence and drive, like when she starts to actually help him with the whole investigation,
and when she threatens to leave, and
exactly. And you can see that they are in love, but she's still ready to like stand up for herself. Like she does end up like kind of like giving into like him traveling as a photographer, and her like kind of wanting to do that too, but it's mostly because they're trying to find a compromise, because he is also trying to do the same thing by trying to get her to break up with him.
well the argument wasn't even about like her compromising or him compromising. It was about the fact that either one of them could compromise.
Yeah.
In Rear Window, like that they were fighting about the fact that like she's like, no, one of us can compromise. Like I can travel with you, or you can stay here. Like it's fine. I don't care which one, but like we can make it work. And he's just like, no, I don't need any woman following me around and the wilderness.
But also, I didn't really think in Rear Window, it didn't seem like he was like being misogynistic about it. It didn't seem like, yeah, I don't need a woman. Like you as a woman can't do that. It was more like you as a almost literally like a celebrity,
like
as a
fashion model. You're high,
as a really
you're high class. Like,
exactly, as someone who's so fancy and high class. I don't see you doing that. Not because you're a woman, because you're like really rich, basically.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that because like it makes sense for her character for him to think because of how she is that she can't do that, and then her proving herself over and over and being like, no, I can do those things, like it's fine.
And then the conversations that the main character in Rear Window has with his nurse as well, like that's another character that you learn some backstory of. A lot of times she's only talking about relationships, right? So by no means passes the Bechdel test. I'm sure it's not a single Hitchcock movie that does.
Oh,
but
no way.
Yeah, but again, like she's a useful character who helps and informs the main protagonist in a way that she isn't just used as a plot device. She isn't just like a shallow person who comes in and dumps exposition and leaves. And she isn't sexualized like at all.
Yeah.
But then also her appearance isn't made fun of. She has a husband. She has a lovely life, you know.
Exactly.
And she's not sexualized at all. I guess that was the part that, like, it's like, oh no, it's a female character that isn't just an object and isn't being made fun of for not being an object.
And
like, she's
in Rear Window, even the ballet dancer neighbor, like, she was being sexualized, like, she was being, like, sexy and stuff, like, and he was, like, watching her, like...
It's kind of male gaze, but inherently, like, it has to be.
But also, even her character had more depth than, like, in my opinion, anyone in Vertigo when talking about female characters, because like
exactly, because you only see bits and pieces of her life.
Yeah,
ballet dancer.
But we also know that she's very smart, that she's seducing these men in her house because she has to, because she's like trying to work her way up and trying to find the right connections.
Climbing,
exactly.
And like the main guy or his girlfriend don't shit on her for
exactly.
that.
Like
she's
she's
not
not
relate, and
like it's not being presented as something negative. It's just like, yeah, that's the way life is. She has to do that, and that's unfortunate, but she's doing it. Like it's
and
very...
even the lonely woman in the lower apartment, she's not really made fun of for being like exposed in that way.
Yeah.
For being like a lonely woman. And eventually she does like go out for a date.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, I actually feel nice. Like,
oh no, when that part that we watched in class, that wasn't a date. She actually...
was she still like staging it, or?
She was by herself, but she ended up with the pianist that was always playing...
Oh, that's so cute!
Yeah, because she, at the end, she went to kill herself. And she heard his tune and was like, you know what, I'm not gonna kill myself.
I didn't see the last half hour of Rear Window, by the way.
Yes.
But that's so cute. Exactly, like, I care about these characters more than I care about anybody in Vertigo.
Yeah, literally.
I think Vertigo is kind of not good, but Rear Window is, like, really good. I
mean, in
hits and misses.
What did you like in Vertigo? like...
So yeah, I like the whole mystery between is it supernatural, is it not? Like, I just like that. But again, it's been done to death, like most Hitchcock things. And so it's not that intriguing. And then they fall in love and I'm kind of out of it because she's being treated like an object and he's just kind of using her. And then you hit... oh my god, sorry. You hit the climax in Spanish, in a fake Spanish village. And she goes to throw herself off of the tower and she dies. And now I'm like, oh whoa, what a weird like ending for this. That's so like jarring, and I can't believe they actually like just killed her. And then it cuts to the court hearing, and I'm like, whoa, this is like so out of nowhere. I kind of like this now because it's weird again to just kill somebody and then do a court hearing, and everybody is shitting on the main character for being awful pretty much, and not saving two people who he possibly could have.
And that
thing is, there is also one line that I like in hindsight where the oil guy, the husband, comes up to him and it's like, it's okay, we both know who killed her, which is like such gaslighting on his part, and it's like, I'm the only one on your side, and like whatever. So that's kind of cool foreshadowing for the next bit.
Yeah, because it does continue. It does not end.
There's an extra like 40 minutes. And so now I'm thrown off again because the movie is still going. And I think it's wrapping up. But I know it isn't because I know exactly how long I left to watch the movie.
I think it was like what?
It's like 2 hours, like just over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's then in a like retirement home and he's gone completely non-verbal.
Yeah, full-on traumatic PTSD. I don't even know what to call it, actually.
It's like non-verbal PTSD.
Because it's not even vertigo anymore. Like, it was, like, a long time ago.
Exactly, that, like, is the time when they would just call that, like, go to the invalid home or whatever. But, like... So that he's only like non-verbal and like in a like chair and doesn't move for like one scene. They say that it could take like maybe 6 months for him to get better, but there's no like indication of a time scale.
I have no idea how he ended up there. Because when did that happen? You know, like how did he went from like, okay, she died.
Well, he doesn't say anything in the court hearing, so it's like...
Yeah, but he seemed like functional-ish, if that makes sense. Like, I did not get the vibe that he's going to be like completely nonverbal and insane. And now we just jump to this.
Exactly, yeah. It's like if this film is trying to be a in-depth analysis of post-traumatic stress disorder...
No, thank you.
Then it really fails. That's the only reason why I think people liked this so much. And I'm going to say liked. Because I feel like it doesn't hold up. I feel like we're not going to get too much hate for not liking Vertigo.
Yeah. I truly do not think it's timeless. I think, like... When it comes more to like the techniques used and the way it was filmed, like, yeah, I think like the Vertigo shots were actually amazing. I love them.
They were amazing. They were revolutionary. Yeah.
Literally. And like, in general, it was a classic Hitchcock style of filming.
It looks beautiful throughout. The map paintings.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Like the just like positioning of the characters, the movement of the camera of the characters, like it all like fits so nicely together.
Yeah, and compared to Rear Window, which is like just all one location pretty much, this one really shows lots of varied locations, mostly just around San Francisco. But
but still,
I got to see more of San Francisco in this movie than I do in most movies set in San Fran. So
no, it was like, I think it's still, the only thing it still holds up with is the way it was filmed. Like
the
I think
visuals,
exactly. I think it was just like genuinely amazingly done. I think especially the way that they filmed the tower stuff, like not just the Vertigo shots, but like all of the shots happening in there and the ones from like out, kind of like outside of it. Like I really, really like that. The way it was like continuously just like something about the way that they were cutting them was so pleasing to me. Like the like the movement, like
no,
you know what I mean?
don't know exactly what you mean, but
The
I'm
way
feeling it.
so when he's like going up the tower, right?
Mm.
In the last one.
Oh yeah. It's all filmed quite tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word that I needed. Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of like it really gives you that feel of like he's inside the stress and the like panic and the intensity of
But
it.
he's also not looking down. They're all like looking up.
Exactly.
They're all low angles.
Like you're like trying to get to the top as soon as possible because you know like life and death situation, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I really like that. I don't know. I think that was my
I think that
favorite
scene
part.
was like the best representation of his fear of heights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, we've talked about the visuals, but we went off track of the big plot twist.
Yeah.
The big plot twist, 70% all the way through the movie, is... Sorry, I remembered something else. So when he's in the retirement home, we get the dream sequence.
Oh, I did
That I
not
actually
want
wanted to
to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about that?
No, because I did not like them like at all.
That's fair. Because I think it's obviously outdated now, right?
Yeah.
But when I was seeing that dream sequence where they use like a bunch of special effects, you know, in order to pretty much fabricate this dream-like environment, I thought it did really well considering it's in the 50s. Like, if you can... Hey. Do you want to say hi?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I actually hated the dream sequences solely because I know how like outstanding they were for the time. I just think they're too outdated for me. Like I could not enjoy something that old, you know.
That's like so fair from a personal level. But for me, I'm thinking, how the fuck do you do that on film?
Yeah.
I'm so enamored by the technicalities of it. And then imagining myself as a viewer in the 50s being like, what the fuck is what am I seeing? I guess you've seen like cartoons before, right? And probably some like experimental art. But like when a live action movie all of a sudden turns into like flashing lights and the face is cut out and zooming towards you and like this, that, or another.
I
like
know.
that would be like seeing the
personally
train come towards you again.
was not in the audience in the 50s. So
Me neither, but I appreciate
I
the
did
craft.
not feel that effect. I was just like, what the hell is happening? Like, can we like skip this part? Like, please.
It did go on for a surprisingly long amount
A
of time.
long amount of time. Like for me, I genuinely felt like as if it was like an hour long.
This
Like,
is when I still thought the film was like ending as well, and you know, I thought that would be a great ending. But
it was not ending.
It was not an ending because big plot twist. Madeline is alive, or at least somebody who looks very much like Madeline. Her makeup was like completely different, and so I was like genuinely thrown off. And it is
To be fair, the actress
did a really
amazing.
good job. She did great
Like the actress slayed so much. Like
to play those two roles that juxtapose, but like
yeah, because
Not really.
because I think it was really hard to like get from like an acting perspective. I think like
especially since the character of Madeline is like so shit.
exactly.
And then the character of Judy is like, she's likable at first and then just like becomes Madeline.
Yeah, but basically like just having to play two characters that are like supposed to be very similar but completely different people at the same time.
She nails it.
Exactly, because I
Yeah.
truly did not. I wasn't sure if it was the same person at first. Like I truly thought it was like a completely different woman, like a completely different
Same.
actress. Because I was like,
And even
Yeah.
like makeup and costume can be like.
yeah, I mean, definitely it was partially like both the makeup and the costuming, but also just the way she acted. It was like
No, I'm in agreement.
yeah, it
but
was
I
like
also
such a
saying,
switch, like because I was thinking like, oh my god, they just found like two very similar actresses. Like this is not the same person like at all.
Yeah.
But
Scotty finds somebody who looks very similar to Madeline who died. And so he goes up to her hotel room that she is living in and effectively just harasses her for a long enough period of time that he's able to go to dinner with her.
No, they fall in love. It's a natural romantic love story.
It's a natural romantic love story. Yeah.
He just stalks her, like.
And she's having none of it. She's like, oh, I know your type. I've been around the block. I know what your type is gonna do.
And you start liking her?
Yeah, and you start liking her because, like, he's being a fucking weirdo and she's telling him that he is.
Exactly.
And then she agrees to go to dinner and you're like, oh okay. No, why did you do that? And then she starts to write a note. Look, she starts to pack her stuff to leave, like, town permanently.
Yeah.
And then she writes a note, explaining that she is Madeline. She was hired to play Madeline, the wife.
Exactly.
So that the guy who runs the oil company can fake his wife's death, presumably to get more control over the oil company.
That's where I lost.
Presumably.
Completely, actually.
Because he says that he married into it, right?
Yeah.
At the start.
Sure.
And so presumably he killed his wife in order to get more control of the company. And he played this, again, presumably actress, Judy, to play his wife, Madeline, and did a whole makeover, and trained her to act exactly like her, etc., etc. And then when she went up the tower, he actually threw the dead body of his wife off of the tower, and Judy screamed.
I'm thinking back now, like, I'm trying to make sense of it while you're talking, because, like, I completely did not understand that part.
This
like,
is the thing, is that this whole plot twist is not revealed in, like, a M. Night Shyamalan style, like, dun 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 reveal.
Yeah.
It's just casually said in voiceover as she's, like, writing a note, and you're already, like... Because you're already questioning, is this the real Madeline or not?
Yeah.
And then not only do they answer, yes, this is the real Madeline.
But also no.
All of this shit, like, as well. She was she was a fake Madeline and conspired to kill the real one, and yada yada yada. And it explains the whole plot to you in about 30 seconds. And so it's very easy to miss.
And I'm also confused, was she in love with Scotty in the end?
Yes.
Because
I don't know about at the very end. Thing is, like, we'll get to the ending, but I actually don't have an explaining for the very end. I don't have an explanation for the very end. I don't know what happened. I understood Rear Window more than I understood the ending of Vertigo, and I didn't see the ending of Rear Window.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so she writes this note that in voiceover explains the entire plot in about 30 seconds, in maybe the least dramatic way you could do it. And then she rips it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's one way to get information over to your audience. It's so wild.
That was low-key iconic of her. Like, I can't even
That's
lie.
low-key iconic of Alfred Hitchcock to fucking get away with. Later on I want to talk about his style of exposition, actually. But yeah, just rips up the note, decides to actually go on this date with Scotty. And then Scotty starts acting like a fucking psychopath. As if he wasn't already.
And she goes along with it.
She's so here for it.
She's like, yeah, like, I did not see any red flags in him, actually.
Scotty starts to make Judy dress up like Madeline. And, again, at this point, Scotty is just being an absolute psychopath. He is not... Like, Judy is constantly distressed by what Scotty is asking for.
But also constantly doing exactly what he's asking her
because
to
she's
do.
like, if you really want me to do it, will you love me then? Or whatever, like...
That's why I'm still.
Why is this the one man? Why is this the one man you'll do anything for? I don't fucking get it.
A random man.
Random fucking man that was stalking you at the
Literally.
behest of your...
Twice, technically.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
No,
awful guy.
To be fair, one thing that I liked there was the green lit,
That shot's
weird, intimate kissing / being
and
completely disgusting scene.
It does a 360 round them, and the location changes halfway through the 360. And I didn't recognize the location that it changed to.
I can't help you with that.
They do this 360. And yeah, it's like they've been transported to like a new location and then back to the room again. I don't recognize where they were. So.
I thought it was just like the lighting.
Maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe I'm insane for that one, but either
No,
way, I liked that shot. Like,
because I think it was literally just the lighting, because it was the green from the outside, but there was also like that weird lighting in the room that was giving it like this kind of like weird like dreamlike
Haze.
feeling. So
Yeah.
it was like when they were going around, I think it was just like the lighting in the room mixing with that, just you couldn't like really. And I think it was actually on purpose to make it seem like, yeah, now she's fully gone insane.
they both have, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that was the scene where she like fully transformed
into Madeline.
back technically into Madeline, but for different weirder reasons this time.
Exactly. Because yeah, so Judy is constantly like, will you love me if I just become Madeline? Like, you're not in love with me, you're in love with the girl that you remember. Which again, like, fucking red flag, run away, right? Like,
Literally, yeah.
even though, like, she knows that that's not the case, the way that he's acting so weird about it should definitely be more than a red flag. Oh, your rings are on today. Clinking around all the time. You're going to be so annoyed when you listen to this back. I'm fine with it.
Okay, sure.
Ivan's mum, leave a comment about the rings.
Yeah, anyway.
What actually was I saying? I got so distracted there. Yeah,
See,
about
yes.
how insane the fucking Scotty is.
Yeah.
And how insane Judy is for not like running away immediately. And so Judy is still in love with Scotty, even though Scotty's acting weird.
I still don't understand why was she in love with him. Like what? Like no,
There
like
was
genuinely.
no reason for her as Madeline or as Judy to be in love with this man. Like, because even with the Madeline, like in the Madeline situation, it's like you can somewhat suspend disbelief because
Yeah, she was like
she's constantly passing out. She was saved from the San Francisco Bay by him.
yeah.
And but she was acting the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all fake.
But like also
So, like,
she
who
I
gives a
don't think
shit?
she needed to do all of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like it's too much for me. Also like him just like falling in love with her when she is his friend's wife.
Yeah, kind of shit. At least bad detective work.
And like going along with it. Like
Yeah.
like still doing the job, but like too much for me.
Pursuing. Maybe he is a shit detective, right? Like
Yeah, obviously he could.
maybe that's why his friend died before. Like he was actually just fucking his wife. That's
Yeah,
I don't know how
I
that's
mean,
linked, but he probably was.
As a detective, he couldn't figure out that Judy and Madeline were the same person. So
Right.
like
No, because I straight up had the thought while this whole fuck situation was going down of maybe he is actually fucking 4D chesting this, and maybe he is like tricking Judy into confessing by like using her love.
no,
of
you
him.
were thinking too much about it.
I was
Like,
way smarter than the characters.
No,
Yeah.
that was not the case, like
'Cause the
whatsoever.
characters are all dumb. I was thinking that maybe he was trying to trick Judy into confessing.
Absolutely not.
But
He was
no.
just being a creep.
And then eventually Judy just does the dumbest thing and wears Madeline's fucking necklace that's like this gaudy ass fucking pendant that sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. And Scott is then finally like,
Oh my god!
how
Now
surprising.
I've finally connected all of the dots, and he goes immediately from connecting 0 to connecting to knowing the entire plot.
Literally.
Inside and out.
Yeah, just by seeing this one.
And he's like,
necklace.
you helped the husband kill her, and he probably threw her off the building. How do you do it? I bet he broke her neck or so. He's like, he goes from knowing absolutely 0 to being borderline omnipotent.
Because he's such a good detective. Like, he was actually keeping notes the whole time. I bet, like, he was like...
It's just drawings of, like Madeline's boobs the whole time, because that's, like, all he's thinking about.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that one necklace was all he needed to figure out, like, the whole plot that was happening behind his back.
Exactly. So he figures it out, and then he takes Judy up to the place where Madeline died, and takes her all the way up to the tower forcefully while she is kicking and screaming. Don't love that.
I also, like, why was that his first thought? Like, no, like, Jenny, like, you just found out that the woman you tried to turn into another woman that you loved, and neither of them are real at this point, like, it's all fake.
Surely you're just, like, either okay with it at that point, or just leave.
Yeah, and you were like, no, actually, let's go to the tower. Like, I appreciate that he went to the tower, because that was one of my favorite scenes, like, that
And and it's a good scene.
Like, it's amazing, and oh my god, at the top of the tower, like, when the nun showed up, completely horrible, plot-wise, but, like, aesthetically, 10 out of 10.
It looks nice. Again, all the visuals are so good. And then, yeah, they're confronting each other at the top of this tower. The whole plot is said again, which again is why I was able to keep track of it, because every time they recap the whole plot, they do it in about, like, 10 seconds. But they do it at least 3 times.
And every time, I just got more and more confused, if I'm being honest. At one point, I was not sure if, like, Madeline's grandma was a real person. And I don't think I'm still sure about that.
Yeah.
Because why is there a painting of her in, like, a museum?
Well, it must have been, like, a real person, or at least an exaggerated story, because the old guy tells them about it, who's, like, apparently just knows a lot about local history, so...
Yeah, I get that, but, like, why? Like...
But whether or not they were even related, or, like...
Yeah.
To have the same necklace, I think, makes sense, like, as to why that would be a family heirloom, but, like, I think it's coincidence, whatever.
I know,
It doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm just saying, like, that's, like, all of the things I was confused about. Like, that was also one of them, like, randomly.
Because you don't know, like, what matters and what doesn't, because some things get explained, like, immediately. Sometimes you're intrigued by something. Yeah, sometimes you're intrigued by something, and then it gets explained in the next fucking scene.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're intrigued about something, and it's just a loose thread that never gets answered. So it's hard to know what you are and aren't supposed to give a shit about. But yeah.
But yeah, they're at the top of the tower.
Do you want to explain?
I do not, actually. I don't think I could keep up.
I feel like I've been talking a lot because I watched it this morning, and so I've got a fully fresh viewing of Vertigo playing in my head right now. So they're having this big fight about why she did it, and she's like, money! Cool motivation. He paid me a lot of money to do this fucked up thing and be complicit in a murder. Cool, you're a shit person then as well. Nice.
I also have, like, a huge problem with that, actually. Like, no, I actually have to say something. No, like, okay, she did it for the money, right? Amazing, perfect. Like, that's, like, a like, stereotypical, like, shallow villain. Like, yeah, one motivation, money / power. That's why they did what they did. Okay, so she did it for the money. Why is she pursuing a relationship with Scotty if she was, like, if possibly when she was acting as Madison, the only reason she had to, like, act like she liked Scotty was the money. You know what I mean? Like, it's so... Like,
because she's actually a shit actress and fell in love.
And then why would she then start to dress up as Madeline later on?
Because surely that would reveal it. It's entirely because she's the worst written character that I have seen in a long time. And her one motivation at the start is money, and then she finds out her second motivation, which is Scotty. And that's the only thing that drives her forward, is this idea of being in love with Scotty.
I'm so confused because, like, yeah, her first motivation is money and then Scott, but, like, the switch doesn't make sense to me. Cause, like,
yeah, because she's just poorly written.
Yeah.
I think it's misogynistic that, like, she'll just do anything for this man immediately. And I mean, Scotty is equally shallow as well, just falling in love with this woman immediately. But again, like, he gets something out of it. Again, that's not really how it works.
Yeah.
The man has the power in the situation, and he doesn't really have to chase her, or when he does, like, she doesn't really have agency because he's just, like, harassing her. But then when she wants something, it's like, no, I'm gonna do all of the things you ask, Scotty. I'm gonna fully become this other person for you, Scotty. And it's
Yeah.
like,
No, because I truly wanted to, like, understand her character, because I think she has so much potential to be, like, a good, like, morally grey villain, if that makes sense, like an antagonist in the story.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't get anything.
Well, then if she was more of a femme fatale, when she was writing that note, I thought, like, okay, plot twist, and then she leaves. Ending. Yeah. Whoa. What a cool
Because, like,
resolution.
that note would be a perfect thing to, like, really solidify her as a morally grey antagonist, because it's like,
She'd be a classic femme fatale at that point.
because she would be like, yeah, I did it for the money, but, like, also I kind of liked you, so I feel like I owe this to you. So it's like, yeah, she will do bad things for money, but she will also, like, kind of try to not fully hurt people she loves. Amazing.
And it leaves her as one step ahead, and
smarter, better than everyone else. Like, she
Yeah.
won, but also you can't blame her, because, like, she did a good thing at the end by admitting and, like, you know, not leading Scott on.
And then you have this sort of, who do you side with, whatever. And then, if the
But
movie
that
ended
didn't
there,
happen.
that would be
Like,
fine.
that just purely, like, did not happen at all.
But yeah, then she's so in love with Scotty for no fucking reason that she ends up all the way on top of this tower, confessing to all of her crimes.
Exactly.
While Scotty is just going full fucking psycho mode. And then a nun shows up behind them, says, I thought I heard voices up here. And then Judy falls off of the building.
She's
for real this time. She wasn't pushed. She had no reason to jump. Really.
It was just the nun was too much for her. She just
falls.
Yeah. I honestly love how the nun was just, like, ringing the bell. Like...
Yeah, that's what happens when somebody jumps off. They have, like, it happens quite often. They have a ritual for it, you know. It's like, oh, fuck's sake. This happened, like, only a couple months ago. Time to ring the bell again. Like...
No, the nun was so casual about it, actually. Like, the nun was just like, another day.
Meanwhile, Scotty has seen technically a third person fucking fall to their death after just conquering his fear of heights.
Yeah.
And again, he seems like a fucking raving lunatic when he's up there. Like, I did it. I conquered my fear of heights, and I know everything now. And he's losing his fucking mind.
No,
He's doing,
actually,
like, the
my favorite character is the nun. Like, no, but like the way she so casually just walked up there, saw a woman die, and was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, sure.
And then the movie just ends.
And now we're done.
All of the places for the film to end. There was like 4 endings in that movie somewhere. And that's where they end it.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have ended it on Madeline dying for the first time. You could have ended it at him in the home. You could have ended it at Judy packing her shit and leaving.
Which would be my favorite ending.
That would be my favorite ending as well. But you could have ended it any 3 of those times.
But no, the
And
nun.
no, you just end with the nun coming out. But yeah, and then the one ending that they choose is just Nun comes up and then she falls off of the building for no reason. For like, she just got distracted and tripped, I guess. But that's not even clear because there's
But
like
it was
one
like
shot.
I feel like it was the laziest ending ever. Like, and I usually don't mind like lazy plot things, but this one didn't even feel like it made sense. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like there like. Because the movie makes you think that everything is like calculated, that everything has like is somehow connected, and someone is like orchestrating this whole thing.
The whole point of a mystery is that there has to be like a rational solution, right?
Yeah, but like her death was just like a complete opposite of that, and not even in a good way.
It was just random. It happens then.
It wasn't like a tragic accident. It was just like tragically written. Oh. Kind of slayed with that one. Kind of slayed, like it was giving Oprah actually. Like, were you silent?
No, I
or
agree.
Were you silenced? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
She was silent.
by the bad writing.
Yeah, by the Nun. Yeah, and so...
And also, I have more things to say about the Nun. Like,
No,
actually.
you've... Yeah.
I also think that the Nun was actually like such a good opportunity to like be kind of like, you know, the priest in that Kurosawa thing that we watched in class.
Yeah.
Like the Nun could have been like that, like moral compass. Like
the priest in Rashomon is
yeah, I mean he was a bigger character in that movie, but like she could have like gotten there and like I don't know,
being some sort of moral arbiter.
yeah, like I don't know, like revealed something, or maybe like cut the tension.
Reveal the real Vertigo was the friends he made along the way.
You know, like maybe she could have just like, I don't know, stopped the fighting, or like got them out of there, or just like be something, like be a symbol of something. But she was just there. Like,
she just shows up.
She's just like, hi guys, and and Jodie was like, okay, I'm done,
I'm
and
out.
dies. Like,
It's actually shit.
it's actually, I was so shocked by the ending. Like,
I think Vertigo is Saltburn of the 50s.
I think it is.
I think it looks beautiful and everything to do with the story is shit and makes no sense.
Yeah, but
And
like,
doesn't have a point.
Saltburn at least was like kind of provocative, you know, like.
I'm an R-ing about can I make some defense that Vertigo is provocative, and I don't really think so. So I think you're right, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, because I can't get into that.
I would give both of them a 4 or 5 because they both look beautiful. But
I actually prefer Saltburn over Vertigo, because I feel like it's.
I think this is a fun comparison, actually.
Just because it's more modern and feels more I can't say relevant, but like up to date with what I would prefer to see in modern movies, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it looks like a modern movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just think like that's my preference when it comes to those two, and I think the characters are more likable in Saltburn than Vertigo.
Yeah, that is actually true. There's at least some side characters
Yeah.
that are likable, whereas like there's only one side character that's likable in Vertigo.
And it's the Nun.
It's
the ex-fiance.
It's the ex-fiance, who again is so underwritten. Okay, so this brings me to, I think, Alfred Hitchcock's delivery of exposition is fucking hilarious. So you know, like, exposition, just
Yeah.
explaining past
Yeah.
events, right? This happens in Rear Window as well, where the two characters meet for the first time, and it's usually very early in the movie, and the example from Vertigo is they're like, oh no, remember back in college when we were, like, married? Remember that relationship that we used to have? And she's like, yeah, no, I do. And remember that one time that you did this? And, oh, we always had our arguments, though.
And
they talk in the least natural way, and it's
Yeah.
always only for like 2 sentences or so to get like some very mandatory exposition out of the way. But they just hadn't figured out like the natural way to
how to
deliver that
make it work,
information yet.
actually,
They just hadn't figured out. That's one thing that Hitchcock didn't revolutionize or figure out,
Yeah.
because they so just deliver the information in the very funny, by today's standards, way.
And I actually hate that for multiple reasons. For some reason, that actually makes me more confused because it feels so out of nowhere and so.
Because it feels like it should be important as well.
Yeah.
Even though it's really just like backstory.
Exactly. So I'm never like I don't pay too much attention to it, but like it's so weird that you have to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like lost in that, and then the conversation moves on. I'm like, wait, are we going to go back to that? Like,
Because
was that something important?
It's so like not relevant that they like were fiancés back in college. Like she
Yeah.
could be anybody
Literally.
who just happens to be in love with Scotty for some reason.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
not working out, you know? Like, could just be a friend. You don't need the whole, like, remember that one time
Yeah.
when you saved me from a pack of lions? And, like, you don't...
Yeah. Yeah, but like I also think in general her whole character just like lacked a lot. I truly wanted to see more of her.
Yeah, and she just, again, wasn't given any agency in the plot. She's really kind of a useless character plot-wise.
Yeah, I don't
and
understand why she's there. Like
she's only there so that Scotty has somebody to ramble to, because they don't do inner monologue
Yeah.
in the movie, except for they don't do inner monologue until they have to explain the whole plot in 30 seconds.
Exactly.
So she writes a fucking note. It could have been inner monologue. The note is just an excuse, like
Yeah.
to have the plot
And
be
she was
explained
like,
in 30 seconds.
no, thank you. Actually,
Oh.
she was like, I actually did not care about writing this note. Like,
I want to read some reviews of Vertigo. I think we'll make a section.
okay.
I think we'll make a new segment of reading what other people actually think of the movie.
You know what I want to know?
online.
Which one came first, Vertigo or Rear
I
Window?
think Vertigo was
Yeah, me
earlier.
too. Because Rear Window
Okay.
looks better.
It does.
So
Even though both of them look amazing.
no, definitely. But I mean, like, looks more modern.
Yeah. Vertigo is 58, which I think is actually after Rear Window by 4 years.
Really?
54 Rear Window.
Oh wow! So how did he get
How
worse?
did he fall off?
Yeah.
Rear Window has 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. Vertigo has 92. Rotten Tomatoes agrees with us.
Exactly. So Rear Window is better. I think with Vertigo, what made it like such an iconic film is probably the filming style mixed with like very like originally disturbing plot, if that makes sense.
I guess it is original. That's one way to describe it. Also, it wasn't an oil... His friend wasn't an oil company. It was a ship builder. I just found that out. There we go. I still missed a little bit. But,
See, it wasn't me. It was just like in general. but
he was
okay.
rich. That was what was important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to say about Vertigo? Do we have anything more to say about Rear Window? We've been going for just over an hour, so...
Okay, probably, yeah, Rear Window, like, I think we haven't said enough good things about it, or bad.
Yeah, I don't think we have said enough good things about Rear Window, because we both really liked it, even though I didn't see the last 30 minutes. I actually probably will come back to that movie. Might even, like, show it to Robin and watch it with
Yeah.
him.
Can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's... Because I also, like, skipped through it a lot, because I was watching it on the train yesterday morning, and I never went back to watch it again properly.
Mm.
But basically, the neighbor did kill his wife.
Did kill his wife.
I'm actually a bit confused about that too, but that's my fault. It was like perfectly almost explained. But basically everyone got a happy ending except him. So what really happened, and I love that scene so much. That's why I had to skip through like the actual explanation of the ending, because I love that one scene where oh my god, I forgot the names, but like the blonde woman, the blonde rich one, and what is she, like a nurse or something, like the older lady that was also there.
The nurse, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the two of them go into the neighbor's apartment.
Oh, I've actually like seen this scene around in like YouTube videos and that.
They go there, and the neighbor came back while the blonde was still there. Yeah, because she's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like hiding, but the neighbor walked in and obviously found her and called the cops. The cops arrive, but because she's an icon, you remember like the bag with the jewelry and stuff like that being left?
Yeah.
She took the ring. She was like, yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have proof. And the police that let her go because like the main character has like connections and stuff like that, basically. Oh, also that dog died. The one that was constantly sniffing the flowers.
Died? Was it killed?
We don't know if he was found dead. Yeah. And yeah, that's how she ended up in the apartment, because she went to dig up the flowers. To see if there's something there, but there wasn't, and she was like, you know what, I'm going in. Like, that's why I love her character so much, and why I love like the way he wrote, like Hitchcock made her like a female protagonist.
The female characters in Rear Window feel like protagonists.
Because she truly was a protagonist, because she didn't have to do all of that.
They don't just feel like supporting characters, they feel like co-lead, right?
Exactly, because she is the one who went into his apartment actually and took the ring as a proof that he did something to his wife. Oh yeah, I got it a little bit wrong. I spoiled it wrong. So the nurse wasn't there at all. The nurse was later. I mean, she went to bail her out. The nurse went to bail her out of jail. So the nurse
is helping.
That's why he was alone at his apartment, and the neighbor walked into his apartment. And that's somewhere where I just like skipped through. So I think he got arrested. Yeah, he did get arrested. Yeah, he did murder his wife, and everyone got a happy ending, which is such a cute montage at the end. Like,
you were just describing a few of them to me, and I was like, oh.
No, like the end was actually amazing. So like the Mrs. Heartbreak or whatever he calls her the whole time got with the pianist, tried to kill herself, said no, they're together now.
Said no.
The newlywed
because
couple...
they were both depressed, so yeah.
Exactly. The newlywed couple is having like their little fights and stuff, but like in a way of like, they're like in love, like they're figuring stuff out.
They're figuring out domestic relationship, yeah.
Exactly. It's not like in a weird way, like they're
is their window like open more often now?
Yeah. That's how I
thought the arc would go. Like, it's so cute. So cute.
Like, the elderly couple got a new dog, so there's a puppy there. Like, and my favorite scene actually is the two of them in their apartment. Him like having both of his legs broken now because of the whole. Anyway, you'll watch it. It's actually good.
That's so funny. Actually, that's really funny.
No, he's just like vibing there, and she's like reading like a traveling like explorer book, and when she sees that he fell asleep, she puts the book down and takes a fashion magazine, and that's where it ended. At least that's where I ended. I think that's like an actual final scene.
Okay.
And I love that so much, because it was like, yeah, she can do what he does, and she's smart, and she can like read books about it and like be on the same page as him, but she still has her own hobbies. She's her own person, and she was still fully like dressed nicely. She didn't like change anything about herself. She was still like slaying, you know?
Yeah.
While also preparing to go with him on his adventures, while also staying true to herself. And I was like, yeah.
It's really cute. That's really cute. I love that. And yeah, like there were bits throughout Rear Window that had me laughing, had me like thinking, oh, that's sweet, you know, up until that point. And that sounds like a perfect way to wrap that all up, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of didn't explain it too well, because like I said, I did skip through a little bit of it. So
yeah.
But like when you watch it, you will see like it's actually like, in my opinion, the perfect ending.
And I think it looks really nice and clean.
Yeah,
we can't say enough good things about Rear Window, I think.
And especially the thing that it came before Vertigo is
4
insane.
years prior, yeah. It just seems so much cleaner in the script department.
Yeah, and also like the going from like very well developed female characters, even if they're like just love interests and stuff
Yeah.
like that, to whatever the Vertigo was. It's like, okay.
I know. Vertigo feels so like stereotypical old Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
It feels so of the time. It just it doesn't hold up. It feels like the stuffy old Hollywood that you would think of when you think of an older director like Alfred Hitchcock, which is unfortunate because we watched Rear Window and we were both so surprised at how
Yeah.
witty and charming and beautiful it was.
Yeah, and it didn't really feel outdated to me. Like,
No.
it is the type of film that, like, I would...
It's like a bit slower paced, like all old movies are. But
Yeah, but it's not even slow.
it's not even like slow, so it doesn't drag.
Yeah,
right?
it's slow in a way, like, that it makes sense for it to be slow. And also, like, I think the slow pace in Rear Window really, like, connects you to the main character because he has a slow life. Because he is, like, just in his apartment.
excitement.
Like, yeah, he doesn't do anything. So you, when you see like any of the neighbors doing something and you get like, oh my god, what's happening? That's because he also feels that way.
Mm.
And I think it really like connects you to the main character and really like brings you into that world, into the plot. Well, Vertigo never did that for me, like at any point.
Yeah, I didn't really feel so. I just didn't feel invested, like, at all, really, in what was happening.
I feel like Vertigo was like disappointing me at every turn.
I'm actually inclined to put a little bit more Hitchcock onto the list after this.
I'm not actually.
Mostly because of Rear Window, though.
No, but I
But if
was
it's-
traumatized by Vertigo. So,
Just like Scotty.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have a fear of heights.
No, I kind of want to. I know, by the way.
Good for you.
No, I want to see how many hold up and how many don't, right?
Yeah, maybe watch them
Does-
in your free time.
Yeah, maybe I can just do that. Maybe I can watch movies when it's not just for a podcast.
Yeah, because I personally cannot.
I want to see if Alfred Hitchcock wrote his own movies.
Oh, I
Did he
actually.
have writers? Yeah. Screenplay by Alex Kopel and Samuel Taylor by Vertigo.
Okay.
And then if we compare that to Rear Window, thing is I could click on these people, but it would mean absolutely nothing to me because I don't know any other movies from the 50s. Yeah, and then Rear Window was written by somebody completely different, John Michael Hayes.
Yeah, so maybe we can watch John's movies.
Yeah, John Michael Hay and Hitchcock, which he is most known for. The guy who wrote Rear Window is working with Hitchcock.
Amazing.
So I won't know these off the top of my head, so this is like not useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could find more ones specifically by that writer and Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
To Catch a Thief,
Oh my god, we
which came
need
out
that.
the year after.
Because
We
we have
need
a
that.
thief.
We have a thief in our class. Still has not returned to the stuff. So much stuff.
Oh my god, what if it is? I don't want to say on camera, but like the person who's not in class anymore.
Oh, that would be so funny if they actually found out who was stealing all the shit and then got them out of class now.
Because I'm not sure what other reason they had to like remove that student from class. I love how I'm not gonna say, even though you can like literally cut this out, but I'm not. I'm
No,
just, like,
we're just rambling now. So
paranoid.
we're done with the talking about the movies section, I believe. Do you recommend Rear Window?
I do kind of actually low-key recommend Rear Window, but I would never recommend Vertigo to anyone.
It's just funny because you said to me that you feel like it's a movie that like people should watch. You
Which
said
one?
that to me.
Vertigo? No, I didn't. I think you hallucinated that.
Okay, fair enough then.
I think it's a movie that people like really loved at the time, but I just think it's not something anyone should watch.
I think you should only watch it if you're a big nerd and want to say that you got it off of your list.
Yeah,
like
basically.
us, pretty much.
Yeah.
Watch any other Hitchcock movie that's also written by the guy that wrote
Rear Window.
I think we could do that if we're gonna watch another Hitchcock movie. He did 4 of them.
Yeah.
So.
Because also I think like the Rear Window, I think the only thing Vertigo might do a little bit better is the specifically camera movements.
Yeah, they're a bit cleaner. I think they had like
And I think that's
dolly tracks this time.
And I think that's the only reason why, because it's like
Came out 4 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
I did
for,
notice that.
Yeah, aside from that, I cannot actually.
They had less complicated shots in Vertigo, really.
True, but like still, like it looks like tracking shots movement shots look like cleaner. Like if that makes sense. Like they look like they were done like more professionally, but I think it's just the equipment that they had.
Yeah, it just looks a bit cleaner.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's it. I'm truly like trying to pull something, but it's just a newer equipment. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement. Watch Rear Window. It's really good. Don't watch Vertigo. It's everything that you...
And you know it's bad when we agree like 100%. When we
Yeah.
don't even have like an argument, like you know that something is not okay then. Like
No, I actually liked this episode as far as like our conversation because we didn't actually argue about anything.
yeah, which is insane. Like
We both agree Rear Window is great. Vertigo's shit. It's exactly what you fear an old Hollywood movie to be.
literally.
It's
like
all of the tropes of old Hollywood. And it's misogynistic. I don't know what to tell you.
and I mean, for Vertigo, I kind of feel like you could try and like defend it. I just don't
wouldn't
want to.
have any of it. I don't want to hear you defend it. No, I actually do. Please leave comments if you have seen Vertigo. I have ideas for a good few segments actually to pad out time now.
Okay.
So
How much are we?
we're an hour 20. We're doing good.
Okay.
So that's enough talking about the movie. Now we can just like waffle for a bit.
Sure.
Guess what? I actually did get 2 responses on my Instagram
Oh my
story.
God. Okay.
Again, guaranteed parasociality. Lily said,
We got done.
I'm
Like,
doxing, I'm
dogs
calling
are-
people out. Lily said, great. And then Josh said, great, one of my favourites. That's it, that's all we get. 2 people like Hitchcock. There we go, that was it. And Rear Window, because I specifically asked about Rear Window
Yeah.
instead of Vertigo. But let us know what you think of Vertigo as well. That's your guaranteed parasociality, that's it. And then comments on the last video. Is your guaranteed parasociality. We actually got 3 comments.
Oh wow!
Can you believe?
No, I'm so shocked.
Tori, great voice, great for podcasts. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That t-shirt says no regrets. I bet he regrets that jacket. At least found out his good profile.
Thank you.
And Emma Stone and Gosling, as they are having a convo, they better should be for the money they get paid.
Yeah, you had to be there for that one.
I think I'm missing a little bit of context for that one. Yeah, thank you, Ivan's mum, for those free comments.
No, it's the part
That's
where
very sweet. Thank you.
it was the part where I said that like their convo seems like very natural and not scripted, even though it was.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, your mum doesn't know that you can put timestamps as well. Oh, there should have been a timestamp.
But she was like, no, thank you.
You
She
can
said
like
what she
live
said.
comment, like pretty much caption the whole podcast. Yeah. we need that.
That's
we need
not
more
her
comments.
style.
You need to stop your mum from commenting. So yeah, and yeah, thank you everybody for watching the videos so far. Honestly, 59 views and 131 views.
Oh my God, why? People are still watching that one.
People are still watching the
That's
Madam Web one.
insane.
The Madam Web one is better than the La La Land one, so like, it's got 5 likes as well.
Yeah, because like yesterday
It's
it was
pretty
like
good.
120 or something. So
Yeah, no, thank you so much for actually watching the podcast. I said when we came up with this idea that I would be happy if it got more than 20, and every view past that is exponential happiness for me. And it's kind of blown away all of my expectations. Ivan is not shocked at all.
yeah,
He's been waiting for this.
yeah. I told you, like the first one is getting they're getting 100 in the first week. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're actually like right where I expected them to be, both of them.
Yeah. Like about half. The last idea for a segment I had, now that we've read comments, is what else have you seen this week?
The Era store.
I know you have. I wanted to give you a platform to talk for at least like 10 minutes about Taylor Swift.
That's just like me regularly daily in any conversation I have with anyone. Like it's not, I don't need a platform. Like
Is Eras Tour the movie on Disney Plus? Watch it right now. I'm doing the advertising for Taylor Swift.
yeah,
this week, by the way.
it's a
Is
free.
it
Okay.
actually worth? Is it worth it? Is it as good as any other 3-hour-long movie?
3.5 hour.
3.5 hour Scorsese length movie. Does it live up to that?
It does. Because she did perform for 3.5 hours without any intermissions and without any breaks. In that's like a whole performance of 3.5 hours of her going through her eras. So I think it is worth it just to see her perform.
Is that actually the concept for the Eras Tour? Like it goes through each like album cycle, pretty much.
Yeah, but it doesn't go in an order of like how they got out. It goes in like more like stylistic order, if that makes sense.
Like in a sort of like cut and paste narrative sort of.
Yeah, because it really tells a story. I'm not sure what the exact story is because I was crying throughout it. But like it does tell a story because like I said, like the same person who did like musical scenes in La La Land did it here. So it's very like theatrical. So it goes from like it mixes like the slow pace songs with like really pop beats. It goes back and forth between that and closes with like her newest album. Like that's the only one that's like specifically the last one because like it's her chronological last one.
What is the last album? Is it
Midnights.
I didn't even
One
know that came out.
won an album for Grammy of the year. Grammy for album of the year this January. And she is currently the only person to ever win it 4 times.
So you like it?
Yes, to everything.
No, that's good to know. I honestly might check it out as somebody who does not listen to Taylor Swift music. Maybe I will like it in the format of a Scorsese style epic.
I think you could like genuinely appreciate the cinematography.
Because I really like just like the filmmaking of it.
Yeah, because it looks gorgeous. I mean cinematography both in terms of like the actual movie and the way that the concert is like organized and put together.
Yeah, no, I probably would. I am somebody who will just appreciate the craft of something, even if I don't connect with it personally. So,
I don't know. I connected with it personally.
I didn't. Well, yeah, that's the thing, is that I can appreciate the craft for sure, and then maybe if it connects with me personally, that
you know
would be
what really
bonus.
hits me? Like in that movie, she has an acoustic set right before she goes into her final midnight set. So like she goes through all of these outfit changers and like background dancers and like the whole band. Everything is live, by the way. All of the vocals, back vocals,
Of course,
the
yeah.
instruments, like everything is fully live.
Like a true artist.
Exactly. And then she has that acoustic set before she like goes into Midnight's era, where it's just her and her guitar. And it's so, like, it really hit me because she's just like one woman.
She's just a girl.
She's just a girl playing her little guitar, singing into a mic.
It's
and
how
that's
it all began.
And I was like, oh, she's like, it makes
No, that's good storytelling. That's the hero's journey right there.
No, it sounds so dumb, but it makes her
No,
feel like real, you know? Like
I'm
after
smiling,
all of,
but that is just good how you do a narrative. I
like after
suppose.
all of the
Like,
glamour and glitz and everything, it's just like, yeah, I just have my guitar and I like to like sing
I'm
songs
just
and
like you.
and then she goes into another outfit change, but that's like whatever, you know, like it happens.
Yeah.
But no, that was just super sweet. And like, yeah, it's like 70,000 people watching her, but it's just her and her guitar. Like, that's all.
Have you watched anything else
No.
this week? I thought not.
Like, genuinely, like.
To be fair,
I did actually watch Damsel on Netflix. Also recommend that one. It
Oh.
has Millie Bobby Brown in it, and it's very fun.
It's actually good.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
I actually love it. It's like a twist on the old tale of damsel in distress. Like, you know, like a dragon kidnaps a person, a princess, and the prince has to save her.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a phrasing that's throwing me off. Like when you hear like, it's like a fucked up retelling of Red Riding Hood or something. It's
No,
like damsel in distress isn't really like a story. It's more of like an archetype, you know.
I mean, it is like a story in like the old like fairy tales. It's like dragon kidnaps the princess, and the prince slays the dragon to
which
save the
is more
princess.
like a story structure.
It is like a full story. Like you.
There's no story called like just the damsel in distress. It's
There
like an
probably
archetype of a story.
Okay, and basically it's a twist on that. And
Okay, yeah. No, I was being really nitpicky with it. I wasn't like trying to call you out. I was like thinking, how do they do that?
Yeah, like just shame the bilingual person.
I would never shame you for being bilingual. That would be the most embarrassing thing for me to do.
Exactly.
Yes, is damsel alright then?
Yeah, actually it did not get like that good.
It didn't get good reviews?
Like it
I
got
haven't heard anything about it other than that it's on Netflix.
honestly, it got mixed reviews, but when I saw the people who gave it bad reviews, guess what? Bold old men.
All of them. All the way down. All of those letterbox profiles. Bold, old.
I'm not even joking. Like the worst reviews of like, yeah, it's so unoriginal and there's nothing happening. Bold old man. Every time. Like I haven't seen a single like bad review that was like written by a woman or something.
Could I be the first one?
Probably not. It's a good film, so
Okay.
you
It's
are
a
not.
film? I thought it was like a show.
No,
Yeah.
it's a film.
I just think that everything on Netflix is a show. It's like whenever there's an appealing looking trailer for something on Netflix, I'll be like, I might check it out. And then it's like, no, it's actually like a 7-part miniseries. And I'm like,
No, it's literally a film and it's not like that long. It's really good. I loved it. It's so simple and that's it.
and that's it, yeah.
Don't go with like too
High
many
expectations.
Yeah, when it comes to like how twisted the story itself is and like the plot twist, it's like simple structure when it comes to like the actual plot. But in my opinion, it really, really works and like sends a message that it intended to send you, if that makes sense. Like it gets the point across clearly. and that's it.
Fair.
So yeah, I love it. And Millie Bobby Brown is the best actress of our generation. So
Do you think?
yeah, I do, genuinely.
Yeah, that's fair. I haven't seen it. I keep saying that's fair. That's my thing for this episode, where I just say that all the time. Sort of yeah. I just replace it with a different thing, with a different phrase. But no, I that is interesting. I really haven't seen Millie Bobby Brown in much of anything because I haven't seen Stranger Things.
If you just watch the first season of Stranger Things, I think that would solidify my fact that she is... No, it's a fact, not even a take. Like, she is one of the best actresses of our generation. Definitely. One of the best, but in my opinion, probably low-key the best right now.
Yeah. Okay. All I've watched this week is me and Robin decided to rewatch The Black Klansman the other night. I love how dismissive you are immediately. Like, I can engage in a conversation with you about Taylor Swift for like 10 minutes.
No, but like I've never... but I just sound like I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So I can
like,
describe it.
Yeah, you can. Like, you're allowed to. I'm just like expressing that I have no knowledge about any of that.
Sorry, I was reading into the facial expressions again. I was like, never heard of that.
Because I haven't. Like, that's the truth. Like,
tell me if I'm insane or if Ivan's insane. Thank you.
I am insane. What is there to tell?
Yeah, to be honest. No, The Black Klansman came out in 2017, and it's about the true story of a black detective in the 70s who infiltrated the KKK.
Oh.
In America.
How?
Well, that's the question in the movie.
Oh.
No, he calls them up on the phone.
Yeah.
And says his real name, Ron Starworth. And pretty much gets an invite to the KKK over the phone. And so he sends one of his white colleagues to pretty much play the in-person version of him.
Yeah.
And together they infiltrate the KKK, find out that they're planning an attack on like a civil rights movement, stop it. And it's a happy ending for a bit, but then of course there's so much social and political commentary throughout the whole movie because of course it's in the 70s and everybody's racist.
KKK.
Including the KKK, obviously. But yeah, it has some really good themes of like intersectionality, just in that like the white colleague of his at first doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And when things escalate with the KKK, he's like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, this is your crusade. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And Ron Starworth, the main character, is like, why don't you care? Why isn't this your problem? You're Jewish. And he's kind of like detaching himself from the social issues in a way.
Yeah.
And also Ron is as well, because he's friends with one of the leaders of like one of the political activists that are standing up for like civil rights pretty much.
Yeah.
And Ron also gets criticized by her for not being like radical enough and for being a cop. And he kind of has to take a look inwards as well and think about what else he could change and whether or not he's doing things in the right way as far as political action goes. And then, yeah, because it came out in 2017, it ends on a pretty hard-hitting note about pretty much saying, hey, this movie was funny and it had a happy ending, but Nazis still exist, you know? And it showed the Charlottesville protests and I guess attacks at the time, where there was just neo-Nazis walking the streets.
Does KKK still exist?
Yeah, technically. They don't have as much of a presence, obviously,
but, like, how
but they are still an organization.
Allowed to like exist.
America, baby, land of the free, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're not like tax exempt anymore, at least, but like,
but still, like, isn't like that. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
good for them. I mean, not good for them, but like.
It's just good for Americans. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's better for them to like be able to exist, so you like they can like be open about it, so you know how to avoid them.
It's better. Yeah, there's an argument to be made that like it's better when you can see it than when it's like boiling under the surface.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's all I have to say about it. Honestly.
But no, it's a really fun and entertaining movie about the KKK.
Yeah.
You know, effectively, and it's obviously poking fun at the KKK while still keeping them as a real threat.
Yeah.
And bringing up really serious political conversations, and also not taking a hard stance, like.
What do you mean, like, not taking a stance?
Obviously, it's taking a stance in racism is bad, but as far as how to change things,
oh yeah,
and like what we should do as far as political action is concerned, it's actually having a conversation about it rather than just being racism is bad.
Yeah.
That's the message. The movie's called Black Klansman. Of course, it's going to say racism is bad,
Yeah.
but it has more to say than just that, and especially that. It pretty much like breaks continuity entirely at the end and just like it shows a very quick like documentary of what was happening in 2017 in the Charlottesville attacks, and yeah, shows like real neo-Nazis in modern day, just pointing out these people still exist. This is still a problem. This was a fun movie with a happy ending that took place in the 70s. But we're not past this. This isn't over. Like, it's still happening. We still need to be conscious. We still need to have these conversations.
Very relevant, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, it's still relevant 7 years on from that movie as well.
Still, yeah.
So that's what we rewatched. I really recommend it. It's really fucking good. And yeah. How would you rate the new segments of comment reading? Now we have actual comments to read, plus what have we watched this
How would I
week?
rate the segment itself?
Yeah, what do you think of the new segments?
I love segments.
If you have any ideas for segments, then please bring them to me. Because I got rid of the
trivia.
I'm gonna keep fucking about with like what else we can talk about when we're done with the movie, because I don't just want to
talk about the movie.
Talk about the movie. Like, that's the priority,
expose
but I want
yourself on the internet more.
Yeah. I want more waffling, like just at the end, like a good like hour 20 talking about the movie, and then a good like 20 minutes of just waffling.
Yeah.
But then also you need to be slightly formatted so that we're not just like yapping about our personal lives or something.
So not exposing yourself too much on the internet.
Exactly, like exposing that you like Taylor Swift, I think is a big revelation.
I think it's I think it's nothing new, which is actually a title of her song on Red Taylor's version, Nothing New. We were on that topic, so I just had to like throw it in. But yeah, no, I love segments in general. Like, I think they're amazing. I think it's so.
Glad I have approval, because I've just kind of thrown them in without like running them by you. So.
I think you should do that. Like,
I'm gonna bring a new one every week. There's gonna be a new segment called Tori's new segment.
And like just like throw me off guard completely. Like. Yeah, but like that's how you get like the most natural reactions. Like, exactly. I can't like prepare what I'm gonna say. I can just like be like, oh, you wanna talk about Taylor Swift? Like, okay, like it was a good movie. Like, whatever. And you haven't watched anything else?
No, that's pretty much all I've watched this week.
Oh my god, you're so boring. Like,
You watched 2 things at least.
Yeah, which is like 2 more than usual, and you are just at 1, which is like.
I've been busy playing Pokemon in my spare time instead of watching things.
Yeah.
I did watch like half of Isle of Dogs. I fell asleep. It's a Wes Anderson movie. I'm gonna describe it. I only saw half of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it again because it was really good. But
amazing.
Yeah, I was just too tired. Yeah. So we've picked 20 movies. Ivan is going to read them off, and then we'll generate a number to pick what next week's one is going to be.
Yeah, so basically the first 5 are the ones that you've seen and want to see again, and then from 5 to 10 the ones you haven't seen and you want to see, and then up to from 10 to 15 the ones that I've seen and want to see again, and from 15 to 20 the ones I haven't seen but want to see, basically. So number 1, Goodfellas. Number 2, The Matrix. Number 3, The Prestige. Number 4, The Grand Budapest Hotel. Number 5, Lady Bird. Number 6, and this is where it gets tricky. Finding the number 6. Genuinely. You're gonna have to give me a sec. I love how we both skipped Oscar winners this time.
Yeah, I don't really care too much.
I was thinking about The Shape of Water, but I was like, you know what? Maybe not.
I do want to watch Shape of Water.
Yeah, but I wasn't feeling it today, so I was like,
Me neither.
no, thank you. Oh, okay. Number 6, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Number 7, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Number 8, Scream. Number 9, Apocalypse Now. And number 10, Alien. Number 11, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Number 12, Coraline. Number 13, Get Out. Number 14, The Invisible Man. And number 15, The Little Mermaid, live action. Number 16, The Batman. Number 17, 28 Days Later. Number 18, Black Swan. Number 19, Dead Poets Society. And for 20, The Babadook.
Nice.
I think no one actually cares about us recapping those movies, but I just did, you know.
I think we could speed it up a bit, honestly. Like, just maybe copy and paste them onto a page, read them out, do the number.
Yeah,
do this
because
one
I
next
just
week.
keep searching for them the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of an intermission. Between
It's still
them.
going to be the long, boring ending this week, but we might sort it out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Alright, would you like to generate?
13, that's mine, that I've seen. Oh my god, that's gonna actually be so funny. Which one is it?
Get Out.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited, we've both seen that. So we're going to be doing Get Out next week.
Yeah, so get out of here. It's time to wrap this podcast up.
So tell us what you think of Get Out. I'm going to put something on my story. Hopefully people have actually seen Get Out and have opinions. More
And
than
something,
that.
I love the switch
So-
going from Vertigo to something so modern.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I wanted.
Same. That's why I was picking modern movies.
I'm very excited to talk about Get Out next week.
So yeah, get out of here and go watch our next episode next week. So thank you for watching us today.
This shit's clanking.
I know, I just have to stop moving. So thank you for watching us today. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you for our next episode on Get Out. So that's a wrap, I guess. No, what was my outro? Wait, no, I had an outro. Wait. Oh yeah. So see you all in the next one.